Okay. Crazy sync tests aside. Welcome to the Mage type Innocent Devil's in-depth guide. So, okay, starting from here, using swords or knuckles, your wood rod can evolve into scissor rod. Sorry, my brain is still getting used to where all the information is on this stupid thing. As scissor rod, he can learn floating bee and sorcery, floating balls and sorcery flame. Then, using knuckles, specials, or lances, he can evolve into Nautilus Rod, which can learn purify. Purify is the only ability that can kill red skeletons in this game. Sometimes he uses it automatically, and sometimes he'll uses it automatically, and he only uses it on undead enemies, and it just insta-kills them. It even insta-kills permanently red skeletons, which is something you need to get past a door in the mountain area. Satellite B summons these pot-like things around you that shoot enemies. And by the way, Floating Bee summons little orbs around you that hits things. Sorcery Flame is an ability that it's like the Crimson Dragon's Fire Breath. It just burns multiple enemies. He whips it out in front of them. Anyways, going back to Nautilus Rod here. Using axes or spears, you can evolve into Eyeball Rod, which can learn Tension Boost, which increases your attack power, and Homing, a non-elemental magic attack that hits multiple enemies, and obviously homes in on them. Scissor Rod here can also evolve, using axes or swords, can evolve into Ogre Rod, which can learn Agony, which is a pretty powerful lightning attack, and Saucer Bee, which I think makes discs appear around you. I'm not 100% sure about that. Wood Rod, using spears, specials, or axes, can evolve into Talon Rod, which can learn Circle Scissors and Freeze. Circle Scissors is an interesting ability. It basically summons a hula hoop around you that acts like a buzzsaw to everything around you. It's a pretty entertaining ability. And Freeze is the only ice attack that the mages can get. It's not quite as good as the Indigo Dragon's ice abilities, so I wouldn't recommend going this route if you need ice attacks. Anyways, Wood Rod, using special swords or axes, can go over to Ogre Rod, or using spears and knuckles, can evolve into Goat Head, who has Salamander. To get Salamander, you have to move with Hector continuously for over an hour while this guy is summoned. If you summon someone else, or if he dies, or if you save and turn off the game, the counter resets. You have to do it a straight hour while this guy is summoned. However, that doesn't mean that Hector has to constantly move all the time. You can stop, but if you do any of those other things I mentioned, the counter will reset. Argent D, I can't remember exactly what that is, but I think it's another support ability. Goathead can evolve into Twinkle Rod using special weapons, which can learn Twinkle Star and Dancing Star, powerful light-based magics. Or it can... Goathead can also evolve using knuckles, swords, axes, and spears into Crystal Rod, which can learn Shield and Meteo. Meteo is a earth-based attack. Summons earth chunks down. Ogre Rod can also evolve into Crystal Rod using special axes or Knuckle weapons. The name escaped me for a minute there. And Ogre Rod, using spears or swords, can evolve into Embryo Rod, which can learn Explosion and Demonic Exaster. Explosion B, which I think is... anything that's B, I think, goes around you. Oh, and Nautilus Rod, using Knuckles, swords, or specials, can also evolve into Embryo Rod. And finally, Nautilus Rod, using axes, spears, well, just axes or spears, can go into Eyeball Rod, which I think I've already covered. Sorry. Innocent Devil, doing these Innocent Devil guides for charts that go like this is difficult because of all the ways you can cross these things. Sorry these aren't more interesting, but I am trying to keep with our name the strategy guides, and I don't want to have to cover this stuff in the actual regular LP videos. So to get back to the more interesting LP videos, click this backlink here and see ya. If you went straight to this video, well, sorry.